Welcome back. It is Wednesday, December 28th in the NBA. You guys know the drill by now. Our three favorite picks are on the way. We'll be finally back in our normal setup tomorrow morning. Like, the lighting's not great, but hopefully the picks are. Let's dive into a recap from yesterday. Klay Thompson easily clears his over in points. James Harden easily clears his over in PRAs. And then Mr. Banchero, our only loss of the day. He dealt with foul trouble all game long. Back to our winning ways. We've won money on 13. Yes, 13 of the last 15 NBA slates. That's certainly a good track record. Let's make that 14 of 16 today. If you are new, my name's Austin. Welcome to the Call on Our Shot community. If you want to go down below, hit that subscribe button. We just passed 62,000 subscribers. Go do it. Drop a like too. Comment your favorite picks. And as always, this video is going to be sponsored by Chalkboard. Chalkboard's our free group discussion app, very similar to a Discord out there. We got over 3,000 people in our Chalkboard. Shout out to all the new people joining. But if you want to join, discuss plays, discuss your parlays, and hopefully celebrate some winners, definitely click the top link in the description. 100% free. It's on Android and iPhone. I'll see you guys in there. Top link in the description. Now, it's time to lock in. And I do want to note, we might actually have one or two added plays today. The books were very slow to release some lines this morning, but I found some ones that I really do like. And as always, those will be in the pinned comment section down below. You can check that out if we do add any plays throughout the day. And you can obviously find those as well on our Twitter at Call on Our Shot. Go follow us over there. Let's dive into our first play of the day. Probably the guy on the thumbnail, Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're taking his over 31.5 points, minus 113 on FanDuel. Now, look, if this is your first time watching the video, you might not be surprised by me taking a Giannis over, but if you've been watching the videos a long time, you know we normally don't take these overs at like 31.5 points, but I love Giannis today, love his matchup in Chicago. Now the Bucks, again, going to be without Chris Middleton. He should be out. Drew Holiday should be out there, but he's notoriously struggled versus the Bulls in his career, and I expect Giannis to be in full takeover mode with ridiculous volume like we've seen out of him over the last, pretty much the whole season long. Now, you're looking at the over-under, 230.5. They're expecting a lot of points in this one, and look, the Bucks probably aren't winning this game unless Giannis is at least playing pretty well, and look, the Bucks are 4-point favorites. Now, the Bulls, like I talked about yesterday with the Sixers taking on the Wizards, and the Wizards ended up winning that game outright, but the Bulls are a good enough team to win this game outright, but also take a lead and be leading at halftime. Now, Giannis is normally a guy that, if they're down at halftime, he's going to be like, all right, fine, I got to turn it up in the second half, and we know this because we took a Giannis under. We've taken it once or twice this year. He only scored like 8 or 9 points in the first half, and then the second half, if they're down, he comes out and scores like 25 points in the second half, going way over his line. Now, Giannis is under this line in 2 straight games, but I don't think that's going to make an impact on today's performance. I think he goes over it, and the line didn't change at all. The books were like, all right, we're going to keep this line here despite going under by 4 or 5 points. Now, Giannis's last 4 against the Chicago Bulls, 36 earlier this year, 18, 25, and 34 points. His 2 unders came in games he's played 24 and 30 minutes. Either foul trouble or a blowout got him in. Hopefully he can avoid foul trouble, but I do expect him to see his normal minutes today where he sees, 36 to 40 minutes. And Giannis is a prideful guy. I mean, he's a former MVP. We've been seeing crazy stat lines across the NBA, but they're always trying to one-up each other. And you look at Luka Doncic, dropped a 60-point triple-double yesterday, a ridiculous game for him. And while I'm not saying Giannis is coming out here and they're scoring 60, maybe score 70, but either way, Giannis is certainly capable of getting us 32 points, one of the better scorers in the league. And he hasn't shot necessarily too efficiently the last 2 games, but he's going to get to the free throw line a good amount. We need him to knock down those. But like I said, the last game versus Chicago, he only had like 8 points at halftime. He scored 28 in the second half. Obviously found a rhythm. Patrick Williams can't really guard him too well. Nikola Vucevic, not a great rim protector. So if Giannis gets a full head of steam, you got a high over-under, I think he can easily get this done. Look, and I also want to look at it. Giannis hasn't played since Christmas Day. He's had, 2-3 days off. In his last 4 games with at least 3 or more days off, he scored 42, 34, 37, and 37 points. So Giannis misses basketball after a couple days off, and he comes out and dominates that next game. Hopefully he dominates tonight against the Chicago Bulls. He's played pretty well in Chicago, which is just a short drive away from Milwaukee. I think Giannis is a great night. We'll take his over 31.5 points. Now, let's keep moving to a guy that I won't lie to you, don't love him, but we're taking Deandre Ayton's over 20.5 points, minus 115 on PointsBet. Now, if you're a longtime follower of the Call on Our Shot channel, you know we don't love Mr. Ayton here, and you might be like, why don't you love him? Well, because some games it feels like he doesn't try at all. But I'm hopeful that he tries tonight against the Washington Wizards. Now, this is a great matchup for him, and the Suns are again going to be shorthanded, as I do not expect Devin Booker to play. He hasn't been officially ruled out, but after they forced him back in that game on Christmas Day, and he played 4 minutes, re-injured himself, I imagine they're going to take it slow with Mr. Booker. Also, Cam Payne should be out, Cameron Johnson, Landry Shamet might return, but even if he doesn't, I don't really care too much about Landry Shamet being out there or not being in there. But look, the Wizards just plain and simple, struggled versus opposing big men. I mean, we saw what Joel Embiid did to him last night, 48 points. So while Joel Embiid has much more volume than DeAndre Ayton does, he also has, a 20.5 point line. So we're not asking for 30 points out of DeAndre Ayton, but the last time he played the Washington Wizards, which was, on December 20th, just 8 days ago, he scored 30 points on 12 of 20 shooting. So that was a game he also dealt with foul trouble. But look, as the number one guy on this offense, basically, he's going to have to go out there and shoot the ball, and I think he certainly will. Now, that's the problem with Ayton. Some games he doesn't shoot, but I think this game will be close, and he's going to have to shoot a good amount. Now, you look at the last 8 games without Booker, who, like I said, do not expect Devin Booker to play. Ayton is over this line in 5 of those 8 games. You look at the 3 games he missed, he played 15, 21, and 27 minutes. So they were either a blowout, foul trouble, something in there that really made him go under. But in the games that he played his normal complement of minutes, he's going to probably hit this over because he's going to shoot a good amount. Now, like you said, recent centers feasting versus the Washington Wizards, who really struggled defending the paint. Like I said, Embiid scored 48. Then you had Ayton scoring 30. You look at Jokic, he scored 43 versus this team. Vucevic went way over his normal averages, scoring 25. We had the Anthony Davis 55-point game against the Wizards. Even Bam Adebayo scored 38 versus them. We've seen centers feasting against this team. They've really struggled to defend the pick and roll, which is going to be what Ayton's going to be involved a lot in with Chris Paul if he's also active today in the back-to-back, which he probably should be. But either way, they've just struggled defending those guys. Kristaps Porzingis contests basically every shot that comes into the paint. And look, if he's contesting shots, there's going to be a lot of offensive rebound opportunities, which Ayton's probably going to go after. And I just think the volume, if we can get up to 15 field goal attempts, Ayton is a guy that knocks down a lot of his shots, and I certainly think this is a great opportunity for him. This is basically a 1.5. This is a pick 'em. This game, they're on the road in Washington D.C. I think DeAndre Ayton shows up, so give me his over 20.5 points. If he hurts us, oh man, I don't know what I'll do, but I think this is a great matchup for him. Just don't hurt us good, Ayton. He went under in his last game. He normally likes to go over than under. Well, Ayton roller coaster. We'll ride with his over 20.5 points. Now, my final play of the day, actually, we will have to update the line in the pinned comment because we don't have a line for this guy, but I really like Jordan Poole's over in points. Now, like I said, I'll update the pinned comment with the exact line that I do take, so check that out. But also in the pinned comment will be any added plays. We might add 1 or 2 today. I had a couple on my list, but I just didn't have a line for him. Like, I don't have a line for Poole, but I'm willing to put this one in the video because I'm pretty confident the line's going to be somewhere in the 27, 28, 29.5 line. If it goes up to 30.5, you got the wrong guy. I will not take it, but 29.5 and lower, I'd probably be fine with it. And look, I'll update the pinned comment with the line I take. I don't think we're going to have to wait too long for this one. We should get a line. But let's talk about Poole and the Warriors at home taking on the Jazz. Now, the Warriors should be without Stephen Curry, Andrew Wiggins, and also Klay Thompson, who's likely, but also unlikely to play in this game. They normally rest him on back-to-backs. This is obviously a back-to-back. Now, Poole did not hit the over last night. I think he scored, 24 points, but he's going to be the offense for the Warriors. He's going to be the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6 option. I don't care what he is. He's going to be the number 1 option on this offense. And look, he's played pretty well against the Jazz in his career, scoring 31, 19, and 36 points in his last 3 against them. And I just got to be honest, this is a volume play. Poole's going to attempt, 25 shots tonight. I mean, Thompson, we think about them. These two guys were attempting 22, 24 shots each. Now Thompson's probably out, so we're going to see Poole go out there, absorb a lot of those field goal attempts, but also absorb a lot of the plays being run for him because he's obviously the number 1 guy in this offense. Now, Poole's last game without Curry, Wiggins, and Thompson, those big 3, he only scored 13 points. It was a bad shooting game, 17 shots, 26 minutes. The volume was there. If the game was closer, which this game should be somewhat close, the volume was there for him to hit the over, but like the volume's just going to be ridiculous for him. And in the last 2 games we've seen him, he's attempt 25 and 20 shot attempts. That was a game Klay also attempted 25 and 22 shot attempts. Now, the bench players are going to come in like Moses Moody's of the world. They'll attempt their shots, but I don't think any of those guys are going to absorb, all of Klay's shot attempts with 25. Klay's been attempted 20 plus shots a night, which is why we took his over last night. But Poole, great success against this team. We've already seen 3 players score 45 or more points against the Jazz this year. The Jazz are favored by 2 or 3 points on the road, but I think that's just because the Warriors are missing so many guys, but they're a prideful team. They're at home. They're going to want to put on a show or at least keep this game close against the Jazz. And I know the Jazz have been limiting 3-pointers, but that's not the only way Poole scores. He can get to the free throw line, can knock down some mid-ranges, and I just think this line at 28.5, maybe 29.5 will be a little bit too low. I think he can easily get us 30 points tonight, given how many people are out for this Warriors team. So we'll take Jordan Poole's over. I'll update you guys in the pinned comment with exactly the line that we will take. And as always, we'll update that pinned comment with any added plays, which, like I said, we might add a play or 2 today, so definitely stay tuned for that. But our 3 plays of the day we're going to be riding with. Obviously, we're taking that guy at the top, Giannis Antetokounmpo, probably in the thumbnail, over 31.5 points. We're taking DeAndre Ayton, over 20.5 points. And we will update you on Jordan Poole. If they put his line at 30.5, I will not take that. So I'll update you regardless, but I assume his line is somewhere in that 27.5 to 29.5 range. Now, of course, if there's any added plays, put those in the pinned comment. It's time to shout out some COS All-Stars. We had a couple new ones. If you want to become one, go down below, hit the join button. and I'll shout you out tomorrow. You get our plays early. We got a couple new ones. Let's run through these names. We got Eric, we got Runscript, we got Teo, we got Duncan, we got Kevlar, we got Mark, Trashcan123, that was like Bankera last night. Jorge, we got Ethan, Diego, Terrence, Brandon, Parker, and Alex. I appreciate you guys all so much for supporting the channel. You guys have been showing tons of love. We appreciate you guys. Look, if you want to join our chalkboard, top link in the description, free group discussion app. See you guys in there. Thursday night football video, Cowboys Titans. I'm dreading making it, but it will be live later on tonight. And then added plays in the pinned comment, as well as that update to the Jordan Poole line. Appreciate you guys. Let's have a great Wednesday. Maybe we'll have 5 plays today. We'll see. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.